Hello everybody, welcome back to the cabin, welcome back to Commonwealth. Flipper, I feel like this is deja vu all over again for me. I actually filmed the last video on the Commonwealth Flipper channel. I filmed it earlier today. We had a ton of sales, and I had a topic I wanted to talk about. I have another one, and we've had an amazing week of sales, so we're able to film two. I filmed that video, I shipped everything out, and took it all into town. Now I'm back, it's nighttime at this point. We're gonna do it all over again, because we've got a bunch, even more sales to ship out, and I'm excited about that. But I wanted to do a video and talk about a topic. I heard some folks on YouTube, people you may know, maybe you don't know them. They were debating a topic, and I really thought some of the advice probably isn't the best, or at least I disagree with it. And so I want to debate it with you guys and come to a conclusion, maybe in the comments below. And we're going to look at that today, and we've got a lot of great sales. Let's take a look. The topic was about old listings and what to do with them. And we've talked about this stuff before, but they had some opinions that I really hadn't heard too many people say before. And I want to address that and tell you what I do, and then I want to know what you do. This is cool. You may remember, it says $2 on this. You may remember me picking this up at an estate sale. It was, I think, Shirt Tails and Care Bear, vintage Care Bear wrapping paper, still brand new. Cost $2.59 at Revco back in the day. And it's not a huge amount, 40 square foot. And I knew somebody'd buy it around Christmas time, and I paid $2. It sold for $24.95 plus shipping. So this topic will have two different parts to it. The first one is really what I had a bit of a disagreement with these folks on, and that was, what do you do? Do you do inventory at all? And is it beneficial? Is it worth your time? Do you just ignore inventory forever? Do you ever take account of what you think you have listed in your store or stores? Pepper's scratching at the door. And do you ever do inventory? And so I'm going to talk about that today and what my system is, since the new year is almost upon us. And there's a couple of takes on it, I think, and it depends. If you do cross-listing, do you have a platform like List Perfectly that helps you do that kind of stuff? Or if you don't, how do you deal with it? Because if you've been doing eBay for any length of time, you will know that you will come across items that you think are listed and they are not listed. Now, whether that is eBay, making items magically disappear, or if you've made some kind of error, I'll leave that up for debate. I think it's probably a combination of both a lot of times, but there are people out there who swear that eBay has dropped, hundreds of their listings or whatever. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know the facts, so I don't want to get into that. But either way, we all know that there are things we think we have listed that we don't. And another Christmas item is still headed out of here. This is a Briar horse, and I don't even remember where I got this one from. And Santa fell off the horse. That's not good. I guess I got to get him back up there before I ship it out. And this little Father Christmas Briar horse sold for $75 plus shipping. Next part of the conversation has to do really with items that you have listed. And do you bother to take the time to go and to tweak them, to delist them, to relist them, to change titles, to do all that? Is it worth your time? And we're going to exclude the part which I talk about all the time. My first step is to run a 30% off sale. However, I take other steps in fixing old listings where you can get full price sometimes because you've done something that really doesn't help that item sell. And is that worth the time? And of course, if you've watched my channel for a while, you've seen that I've done that en masse on one occasion before, and not quite that extensive another time. I will say on that topic, maybe we'll go over that topic first. It has worked both times, and it works on a smaller scale and a bigger scale, and I do think it's worth your time, but you have to weigh all that together, with new listings and time management. So this is a Blockbuster bag, which is always collectible, but this one has Bay Management LLC, Artisan Entertainment. I don't know much about that, but picked it up super cheap at a sale with my buddy Joey, and it sold for $40, $39.95 plus shipping. I just gave Pepper some treats. You are the most patient cat in the world. This cat will just sit there all day and just wait for that door to open so she can get 1 or 2 treats, and I reward her. But I already gave her a couple, so she's going to have to wait some more. This is Squidward plush. SpongeBob, depending on what it is, does well. This plush did way better than I thought. It's a Nanco plush, and it sold for $20 plus shipping. I just gave Pepper a treat and put her out, and Poncho's waiting at the door. But I didn't let him in this time because I got to talk to you for a second. He's really distracting. So here's the deal. There's a selective way to repair what I call repair old listings, and I do it sporadically. And sometimes I'll do it specifically for a specific item that I come across when I'm going through stuff. And, you know, a lot of times I'll look at the items that are ending today, whatever day it is I'm looking at, and I'll go through them and look at them, see how many views they have, how many watchers they have. And I'm like, why isn't this selling? So it could be as simple as looking up a current comp of an item that's been listed for a while and changing the price. And I mentioned this item right here the other day. This item, I did that. I looked at the items that were ending, and I'm like, this thing has got no action whatsoever. And I listed it not very long ago. Well, I didn't list this one. My wife listed this one. And so I looked at it, I'm like, it's got nothing. It's got no views, got nothing. And so I went in there and I delisted the thing and I relisted it, or I sold similar to be exact. And I noticed that there was no MCM in the title. And it might not be a big deal, but it's not a very searchable item. And people do search for MCMX, you know, whatever it is, candle holders, whatever it is. And in this case, I tweaked the title, I put MCM in it, and I reordered the words. It sold the next day. Not only did it sell the next day, it sold for full price the next day. And it's, you know, refreshing getting a new listing. Now, I hate the idea, like Mercari just buries stuff after a while and nobody ever sees it. I hate the idea of having to do that often, so I try to avoid it. But there are certain cases where it really, really helps the overall movement of your store. I picked these up. I like picking up Lily Bloom stuff, but they had I don't know what they had on there, $15 price tag or something on these. There was 2 of them though. And so I think I offered 20 bucks. Do I have it right? No, I think it was a $10 price tag, and I offered 2 for 15, and they said yes. So that's $7.50 a piece, and they didn't go for much, but this is why I made the offer, because I wouldn't have paid 10, but it sold for $21.95. So $7.50 into $21.95. That's right at, you know, 30% or so, and I was okay with that because there was 2 of them, and I'm glad I did. So I often say this, you know, I don't list all my items. My wife has increasingly, Bubba's fiance used to, and she doesn't do that anymore. So I've done more than I've done in a while. My wife has done a lot more than she's done in a while. And so, you know, she's a pretty darn good lister, I got to tell you. She knows what she's doing. She knows how to comp. But there are some things that she doesn't do sometimes. She works quicker than me. And there are some things that I do wrong that she picks up on. She had done that listing. And, you know, sometimes you take another title and you don't take the time to reorder things to make it the most optimum title. I think that is a big key that people miss, and I've talked about it before, especially the first 4 or 5 words in a title, making sure exactly what the item is in there before you add the other terms, and whether you put terms that are searchable. MCM's an easy one, obviously vintage and stuff like that. But there are so many keywords that once you do this, they really make a difference. So I believe that unless you want a bloated store, and if you keep listing and never do any of the things we're talking about today, you're going to have a bloated store. And if you never do inventory, ever, in any way, shape, or form, even a massive one every couple of years or once a year, or individual ones every once in a while, it's going to hurt the overall health of your store. And in my belief, it really pulls you down in that algorithm. So I think it is more important than ever to do some of the things that we're talking about today. Now, there is a cost to doing that, and you've got to weigh that cost out. But I think a lot of people miss the fact that there is a cost. Sorry to the Aflac duck. There is a cost to not doing it. I got to make sure I get the right ones before I show this to you. This is one of them, Paddington Bear. This actually went to a viewer, went to I Love Vintage NYC, who is a wonderful supporter over there on Dibdit, and we appreciate you very much. This is the other Paddington. She said, hey, if I buy them all, can we get a shipping discount? I said, of course we can. This Lori, by the way, is your name. Let me see the other one. It is a yellow hat, blue tag. It's this one right here. And so I had 4 of these in the store, but one's a duplicate. So this is what she grabbed right here. So we appreciate you very much. And I think, let's see, 2 of them are on 30% discount. I think that's right. Maybe 3 of them were. Let me look. Nope. 2 of them were. I think we sent a discount on one of them. Maybe. I can't remember, but we're going to refund the excess shipping, Lori. And I hope you enjoy those very much. I appreciate it. Had to do a little replacement. Put the Taz, Valentine, plush, and the Betty Boop up there. See, I get pretty OCD about stuff like that. I don't know what it is about me, but as soon as that stuff's gone, I got to replace it most times. Sometimes I forget. But that's part of what I'm talking about, actually. And I do think that I'm not systematic about how I take things down and put them back up and try to repair listings. And I'm not really systematic about going in and like every day I check what's ending that day and fix it. To me, that's too much time. That's going too far in that direction. There are some people who do that. If you're low on inventory, however, and you're not listing new things or not a lot of new things, then that is a wise way to spend your time. But I like to balance it. You know, I'll do a little of that selectively over time to keep my store from getting bloated. But there are very few substitutes for getting new inventory and putting it in there, because when you're doing that research on that item right there, you know it's matching the current market value. Where if you've got an item that's been in there for 90 days, 100 days, 200 days, whatever it is, they might not be matching the current market price on an item, and it does need to be changed. So I definitely would have a strategy, whether it's one day a month going in and picking 10 items, or if you have a huge store, you know, maybe it's 20 items and doing it like that. But you don't want to do work on something that is fine. You just want to kind of pick out those ones that you think should have sold and didn't sell. It's a big giant Steelers banner. This one sold for I paid $5, sold for $24.95 plus shipping. But just like there's an opportunity cost in one direction, there is in the other. If you completely ignore this forever, you're going to have items that are listed, or excuse me, that you think are listed that are not listed. And if over time that accumulates and you start running out of space, not to mention you're losing money because there's items that you have that aren't listed, therefore they can't sell. This was a cool piece. I just picked it up. It's a Tetris Bop It. And I had never seen one before, and it was $1, and I knew they didn't sell for much, but I had to pick it up anyways because I like Bop It's. $12.95 plus shipping. So if you've been watching the show for a while, about 15 months ago, 16 months ago, something like that, we started a process of inventorying everything, and we took the entire store down to do it. We did it before Q4 last year, and it took time, and there was cost to it. But boy, it was eye-opening to me to see that there was a significant amount of items that I thought were listed that were not. And there were a lot of things that I made decisions on, cleared out space, and it was really healthy for my store, even though I lost income for about a week or so. It just needed to be done, and I don't advocate for doing that on a yearly basis. I had never done it before, ever. And there was a bunch of stuff, but it wasn't overwhelming. But if it would have gone on for years and years and years, it would have presented a problem. The other part of it is sometimes, you know, when you don't know exactly where your inventory is, sometimes I make mistakes and I'll relist something that was canceled, that it got canceled for a specific reason, or it didn't get returned or whatever. And I have stuff that I'm selling that I don't actually physically have anymore. You definitely don't want that. There is a big cost to that if you do that too many times. And you're selling stuff you don't have and you have to cancel the order. So I'm going to talk about a method that I have come to accept as part of doing business. And I think it's really helped me. Even though I'm not perfect with it, it's working pretty well. I'm going to get your opinions of the matter as well, and what you do, if anything, and make your arguments below. I think that's the best way, you know, as iron sharpens iron. So one man sharpens another, we can come to a conclusion. Club aluminum. I don't always pick these up because they're not always in great shape, but this one was in good shape for $1. I'm like, for $1, I will grab it. Even though they don't go for a ton, these go for okay money, clean on the bottom and all that. $16.95 plus shipping. The more and more I do this, the more I really do believe. And if you'd asked me this 4 years ago, I'd have been like, whatever. But the more I do this, I believe that the overall sell-through rate of a store and the overall health of the store matters, which means that underbrush can weigh you down from time to time. And so I've started to adopt, and like I said, I'm not doing it perfectly, but my commitment in the new year is to do this exactly like I'm explaining it right now, instead of periodically doing it, sometimes remembering it, sometimes not. There's one day of the week where a lot of times, especially in the non-sourcing times of the year, because sometimes there's some sourcing going on Fridays around here, but Fridays, for the most part, is my least busy day the exception of Sundays, of the week that I'm actually working on this stuff. So the strategy is to take one section, because I don't use SKUs at all. A lot of people think that the license plates are SKUs and whatever. I don't use SKUs. I put items in like places, and they're magically almost always there. Almost. But pretty much. And so I've decided that I'm going to take one section. I've been doing this for a while here. But one section, for instance, this would be 1 week on a Friday. I would inventory this whole shelf. I would look at the items, unless it's something I just listed. And I'd look at something like this. I'm like, why hasn't this sold? There's a reason it hasn't sold. I'm going to figure it out. Maybe it's price. Maybe it's the title. Maybe it's not listed. Whatever it is. And go through and fix all those things that need fixed. Most of them don't need fixed. You can deal with items not selling quickly through send offer, the 30% off sale. But some of them will. And you occasionally will find an item that you think is listed and it's not listed. So think of that as 1 week right there. There's week 2. So imagine, 52 weeks in a year. There's probably more than 52 sections of this shed and the inside eBay cave. But that's okay. It doesn't have to be once a year it gets done. There could be 80 sections. You could have 80 bins and still do one a week. And eventually it gets finished, right? And that's the system I like to use, because it doesn't overwhelm the listing process, doesn't shut your store down. So 1 week, look at that shelf. 1 week, look at this shelf. 1 week, look at that shelf. 1 week, maybe it's a short week, you do something really simple like that. So there's, what do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6. You take care of something like that. 7, 8, maybe do that in a week. Do that in a week. 9, 10, 11, do that right there. 12, you can handle the coffee mugs. Then you go back here and you're like, okay, I'm going to do these 3 in a week. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Here's a chunk right here, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. We might as well finish it. 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36. 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52. So you can see we're probably going to have about, like I said, 80 weeks when you get this, and then you go inside and do that part of the eBay cave in there. You're going to be looking at about 80 weeks. Not to mention these drawers. You can maybe take a week for each drawer. So using that method, for me, every year and a half, I'll make sure that everything is right. Now that seems a little crazy to some people, but how long could that possibly take? Once a week to go over, depending on which one you're doing, if you're doing a clothes bin or if you're doing a junk drawer or whatever it is, it can't, 5 to 20 minutes max. And then you have peace of mind, and you know that your store is going to continue to move because you're constantly checking a portion. And it's not taking away from the new inventory, which is so, so key. A lot of people shut their store down from new inventory. This is why a lot of resellers who are quitting find it very hard to get rid of their old inventory. It's because the new inventory is no longer coming in. And, like I said, I don't pretend to understand the algorithm and all this stuff that everybody spends so much time on. But just anecdotally over time, I've come to believe that making changes to the titles, especially in listings, if you take the pictures good in the beginning, you don't need to do that stuff. But the titling and redoing the titling of items that have been in your store for a while can sometimes garner a quick sale. All right, let's give away some tape here and do a t-shirt. And I'm going to try this again since I didn't get in trouble last time. 80stees.com. Is this a Christmas shirt, y'all? Huh? Is that a Christmas shirt? If you think it is. Tell me what movie this is from. Can I do it this way without making myself look big? I've gained weight during the holidays here. Tell me what movie that's from down below. You'll be entered in to win this shirt from 80stees.com. I'll announce it on a coming episode. And let's give away some tape. First of all, 80stees.com, there's always a link in the description below. You can use code Commonwealth. They're nice enough to give these shirts away. So go check it out over there. All right, and we're giving away some tape as well. My go-to tape. A pack of 4 of the 2-inch tape. It's not the 3-inch tape, y'all. I use the 3-inch tape. Y'all really got to go try it. It's game changer time. I love it. I can't believe I did this job so long without the 3-inch tape. I love it. Code Commonwealth, 5% off. The Antique Tiger. It doesn't happen that often that I know the person That's winning the tape or winning anything. I think in all the years I've done this, there's only been one thing that we've given away that went to somebody I know. I don't even really know the Antique Tiger other than the fact that you sell over there on Dibdit, and I've seen you in the live selling. You're one of our live sellers over there in the chats and stuff. So I feel like I know you. It's more of a community over there. So congratulations. Send me an email, commonwealthpicker@gmail. Actually, just communicate on Dibdit with me. Send me a message over there. I'll send you the code. You can get your tape sent to you by Joel and American Bubble Boy. Commonwealth, code Commonwealth, 5% off anything but bubble wrap over there. There's links below. I really like giving away stuff. If you're somebody out there who wants me to talk about your name, send me some stuff to give away to the audience. They don't mind the shilling is bad when they get free stuff. Revereware. This one took a while to sell. It sold after the more expensive one that I listed later, and that's because it's is not as in. Oh, I can't even talk. Because it's in not as good a shape. So, but it still sold 30% off, $10.46 plus shipping. I really should have done a better job of cleaning that one, but oh well, we'll take it. Look at this cat, y'all. See? Oh, you want in? Come on. Oh my goodness. There you go. All right, I have found that this is a dragon. I'll have to show you the picture. My goodness, we're gonna have to do something. Whenever Blue Ridge Mama ain't home, they're everywhere. I'm gonna have to do something here. Kick them out. I have found that selling things that are really unbranded and don't have popular names and stuff, this is a dragon. You know, it's harder to sell them because you can't market them very well on eBay without that kind of collector kind of piece to it. But this one sold for $19.95 plus shipping. But if I had to do it again, I think if I had to do it all over again, some of the ones that I kept to sell on eBay to see how they would do compared to selling live over on Dibdit. There's a lot of people who'd love this kind of fantasy dragon stuff. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna kick them all out. Don't think I'm mean, y'all. I think I would have sold them all over there on Dibdit. They didn't get quite as much as I would get for this, like $19. Some of them were really cool. These two dragons gotta go. Come on, you guys are going. Come on. Out. All right, back on track. When you can see something that it looks quality and looks cool over there on live, it's a kind of more of an experiential buy. And I got anywhere between like $8 for these, and some of the cooler ones were bringing like $30, $40, but they were all gone really quick. Got them super cheap. I probably would have sold them over there. This is the most behaved of all the animals. No name kitty. So Life Connections Bible. This one was a freebie, sort of, at a sale if you watch the Commonwealth Picker channel. If you don't, go check it out and subscribe. This one, the lady wouldn't sell me it because it was a Bible. She said, I'll just make it a gift to you. And I'm like, well, people watch my videos and I get Bibles for free and sell them for $44.95. They get mad at me. So how about you let me gift you a couple of bucks? And she said, sure. So she gifted me the Bible. I gifted her a couple of bucks. Anyway, it was kind of fun. $44.95 plus shipping. Anybody out there want to argue? Never, ever do inventory. Never, ever do anything to a listing other than putting it on sale after you've listed it. You know, list it and forget it method. That used to be me, but as I've done this more and more, I slowly adapt. I don't go crazy on it, but I think it is important from time to time. So tell me what you think in the comments. Sold an FSU sweatshirt. This is a more modern one, I believe. Yep. Size small, unfortunately, and it is Champion. Not in perfect condition, but not bad. $18.95 plus shipping. I had somebody send me a message about a Cutco knife block that I had, and this one wasn't a big one, so it doesn't go for crazy money. And then one carving fork that was Cutco too. Bought them at two different places. The knife was on 30% off, or excuse me, the fork was on 30% off. And they said, will you combine the shipping on the two? And I said, absolutely. So we did that. $40.75 plus shipping, and I'll show you both. Had to go inside for the knife, which reminded me of something. I wanted to thank all the well-wishers from a couple weeks back there with all of the flooding and stuff in the basement. Progress is slowly being made, but whenever you're working with insurance companies and stuff, I'm glad we just plowed right on through it. We appreciate you. This one right here, and then the fork, and I think this one went for around 20, and the fork went for probably around that as well. It was last year at this time that I was selling that Cutco stuff like crazy. This is the first time in many years probably, where I haven't had a Cutco item somewhere in my store, because I had a bunch, and I don't have any Cutco. Makes me sad, but kind of happy at the same time. So here's an item I thought would sell immediately after I listed it, and it's still here. So obviously something happened. This is cool. right here. This is a solid brass crane. A lot of times they're India, but this one doesn't have anything. And I pass up on a lot of brass, but this one I just thought looked too cool. $14.95 plus shipping. You know, it's a little hard to source around here in the wintertime. And I went to the flea market, and I went into a place that's one of the high-priced booths, just in case, because there was hardly anything out, and I got lucky. Not insanely lucky. A lot of times when you see this stuff, I immediately think, I'll do one at a time, that it's going to be out of date, and it wasn't. Not yet. 2026 for this. The boxes are a little damaged, but it's brand new. That one, Rogaine, I paid $20 for all three. And I think he had $10 a piece on them. And this one sold for $30 plus shipping. So we're already in the profit. Not by much, about $4, $5 maybe. But then these made it worth it. So we're already in the profit here. And then we sell these two for $50 plus shipping. I'll take that, even though it wasn't the greatest day of sourcing. My daughter was at gymnastics and I had like an hour and a half to burn, so I went and did it. And we sold a small item, went it out, parted out item, and it's 30% off. If I can remember where it is, not there, right here. Man from Uncle outfit. And I bought this thinking down there in Florida I could double up my money. I didn't quite double it up, but with this sale, it made it worth it. Bought it at the Webster Flea Market. This one sold for $14, somewhere around there. Nope, $13.27, but it is pure profit. Plus shipping. By the way, people get mad at me and say, it's not pure profit, you got to pay fees and whatever. Okay. When I say it's pure profit, it means after fees, after any other costs involved, it's pure profit, meaning there's no money into it anymore because I've made my money back and I'm in the profit on the overall buy. So there you go. You can yell at me if you want. Another one of our 50/50 sales are headed out of here today. We did the mug. We don't sell this mug anymore. We sold out a long time ago, but I always keep some extras of the ones. I think these are always available, but I always keep extras of the other ones, and we do these charity auctions. And so this one is, my daughter designed this. She did the coloring and all the stuff, and then we printed them on here many moons ago, and we still had a few left, so I think I put another one up there as well. I don't know if it's sold yet or not, but this one, half of the proceeds went directly to St. Jude right through eBay. So let me read this message. Actually, this one was Ronald McDonald House. I think the next one's St. Jude. I think that's right. They're either that or Samaritan's Purse, or there's, you know, different ones that we do. You can always check. Just look up Commonwealth on eBay, Commonwealth Picker, and you'll see some. But those are coming to an end for the season. My mom and I got all three from you to help our eBay store, and it has helped. That's nice of you. This is for me, and the cup is for my mom. We have watched everything that you have put out. We enjoy watching your entire family, including the pets. Keep up the great work. That's very, very kind of you, Justin. We appreciate it. It's unique finds and collectibles. I really do appreciate it, and thank you for your contribution to a good cause. Forgive me if I've told this story before, and I know I have, but a lot of people are new. I coached baseball for many, many years, and I was the high school varsity coach at a school called EC Glass, and it was just an unbelievably tragic and amazing day. My second baseman, right before we were headed to get on a bus, we were taking pregame batting practice to get into a playoff game, collapsed on the field, and he was essentially dead. And I was feeling helpless. We had a couple of, one of the other players' mothers was a doctor, and she happened to be up in the concession booth getting food ready for the kids for the road trip. And she, along with two other amazing trainers and one of my assistant coaches, performed CPR for a long, long time on this. Just looking at his face, I can still see his face. He was, we all, when he got taken away, thought he was gone. And that's what we were told by some folks. Long story short, he survived and was in a coma, and his parents benefited very much because the process took a long time from the Ronald McDonald House. So that's got a special place in my heart. This is a Dakin teddy bear. I believe it's the tags that sell these things. I mean, I really do, because it's hard to sell them sometimes without the tags. But this thing is a neat little teddy bear, sold for $14.95 plus shipping. Back to the camera bin. It was overflowing a couple months ago, and now it's starting to dwindle, which ought to tell me something. It ought to tell me that cameras sell. You get the right ones, cameras can sell. New, used, broken, all of it. This is a Fujifilm camera, and I picked it up for $5 at the 127, and it sold for $35.95 plus shipping. It's not often I say when an item sells that I wish I wouldn't have picked it up, because it's obviously eventually sold. But I paid $2 for this thing, and it took a month of Sundays to sell. And it kind of took up some space. And some of the Catan stuff, is that how you pronounce it? That's how I pronounce it, because I don't know. Does okay. See a split in the box right there. But this one sold at 30% off. I bought it a year and a half ago. It's been sitting there for $13.96 plus shipping. Way too much work put into that one for the money that I'm going to get out of it. Going to get probably $8 profit out of it. And to make sure it had all the pieces, to take the picture right, to ship it, to do everything, it doesn't quite reach the level that I needed to. But you know what? What's the other alternative once it gets in there, right? Do you do all that work and then get rid of it? Or do you at least extract the money? Because all you have to do now is ship it. So the Cowboys jersey, and it didn't last very long, which surprised me. I don't know who anybody would want a Cowboys jersey, but oh, stop. I'm just teasing, Cowboy fans. Could be worse. Could be a Jets fan. $19.95 plus shipping. Everybody in my house has a different football team that we root for. My wife roots for Green Bay. I have no idea why. I root for the Rams because I grew up in Southern California. And, of course, they moved to St. Louis. But I moved at the same time, so it didn't really affect me. And now they're back there. My son roots for the Titans because the quarterback here from Lynchburg was drafted by them. Now he's with Green Bay, which is interesting. My son roots for the Steelers. His fiance roots for the Bills, and Reagan didn't have a team, so she's like, I'm just going to pick a team, and she picked the Jets, and I said, you just picked a lifetime of just futility. At any rate, she likes it. She roots for the underdog, I guess. All right, we got one more item, and I can't find it, although, to be honest with you, I haven't really looked. This is where this item should be. This is, whenever I have these action figures or whatever in the box, unless they're really big, I put them out on display out there. It should be in here. It's a Rocket Racer, but I just don't see it. And I don't want to dig through all these bins because it should be in this one, unless it was overflowing when we put it in here. So I'm just going to quit for the night. This drives me crazy too. This one should be the other way around. There. Montana's got a show. So I hope you'll forgive me because I don't want to look for it. I've already spent 3 minutes on it. Sold for $14.95 plus shipping. Let me know in the comments below what you do for inventory, or if you do nothing. I'm curious what you do to fix or repair old listings, or do you list it and let it sit forever? And let me know in the comments below. Thank y'all for joining us. Hopefully your Christmas season is going well, your holiday season. We appreciate y'all for stopping by, and I can't wait to see you next time.